Alex Marquez 19th, Bradley Smith bouncing back well from a big crash at turn 4. Yeah,
ultimately they'd come to an agreement because Dovi has been such a stalwart for them. This is
Ducati do. Johan Zarco on the podium last time out in Brno. Does his name
Ducati also Paolo Ciabatti saying unfortunately the conditions aren't there to continue with
cares. I've won a bunch of races for you over the last few years. You know, I'm standing for Ducati haven't always done obvious.
No, they haven't. And they've not always.
What can Aprilia do? Meantime, of course, they've been talking with Cal Crutchlow.
Rhythm and race pace for tomorrow's Grand Prix. Yes, it was dry at the end of Florian's got the camera this time. There is the South African exiting
3Q2, so we can't wait till you grab somebody in an official capacity 20.
Maybe that's why he ditched Desmo Dovi after all. Before it begins, here's Fabio Quartararo heading out on circuit. Not had things all in
next year with Petrucci, Oliveira, Binder and Lecuona, had they known that the vision box window, and he's got Davide Tardozzi to talk about the biggest story so far.
Vizioso.
No, there was not the conditions to walk.
Do you have any idea when you'll make a decision on the new rider for your team?
Yeah, we did. I know it's very loud with the sound of the bikes sort of pitching back from the empty grand morning from Simone Battistella. Interesting times. I just want to put it on to get Balder a place in MotoGP, but Balder's having a shocking season in Moto2, so that's not going to happen in MotoGP.
Well, you've got to feel that Dovizioso, Steve, he's not. I'll go with that one, because why would you step away from Ducati? I mean, clearly there's been a
fours, 24.9. There's Massimo Rivola. Well,
I like Dovizioso because he's got such experience, such knowledge. He's a renowned race potentially winning motorcycle.
He was going to go to KTM, but every seat's taken at the moment. I cannot see.
Could you see a scenario? I mean, both of us have been talking about this, haven't we, Steve? Totally high. Bringing Dovizioso, who knows? This one's got a lot of
Espargaro fastest with a 24.4. Zarco second fastest.
Do you think? Do you know what? We'll leave Zarco exactly where he is. Potentially give him a bit. They've potentially got Jorge Martin. That would be a cracking lineup for me next year.
Might go anywhere, folks. That will be very interesting.
Oh, this man, Andrea Dovizioso. We've also got Aleix Espargaro, Alex Rins. He's been having with that new Michelin rear tyre. You may well think, looking at the calendar, these are...
Right now, OK, his future's not secure, but this is unfinished business now. This here in Austria. And just say, well, I'm sorry, guys, but you should have...
Joe Dovi out at the end of 2020. They would laugh you out of Hollywood if you pulled now in the Red Bull ring, having pulled the pin and decided.
I don't think you'll see celebrations like that. Of course, they'd be delighted if Dovi won both races here on Sunday.
It would have sounded just a couple of weeks ago. It would not surprise you in the slightest
this session, so let us know, Jorge.
I think maybe a hot young talent out of Moto2. Let's not forget, of course, a little bit more experience.
Possibly, yeah.
There's
a bunch of riders in that Moto.
Given the fact that there are not a lot of vacant seats at all.
Well, there's only one, really.
Exactly. And his experience.
Right now, in this session, Pol Espargaro is fastest, Miller is 8th, Morbidelli 9th, Rossi 10th. Lines, and that he'll just steadily build his momentum. It's not looking like at this stage that way.
Just a second cover. Oliveira's. Franco Morbidelli gets it a little bit wild and loose on the braking zone.
Further down the order.
Here at the Red Bull Ring today, Ramon Facada, crew chief to Franco Morbidelli, looks on. And as we mentioned, it's always great to see a rider being rewarded for his efforts with that.
Just Quartararo at the moment using it.
Yeah, guys, an advantage for, you know, when you're guys, it looks like the future. They're all working with it, and you know, like you, I think turn 1, it's got to help in that area as well to lower the centre of gravity.
Turn 1 and turn 3, it's all about brutally hard acceleration here at the Red Bull Ring. So that right
laps, he's 13th overall. Said yesterday in his debrief.
Super impressed at the moment with Pol Espargaro in this session. He's reading off at Binder for KTM's first ever MotoGP.
And his passion, his energy, he never gives less than 100%. But
at the end of the day, Steve, it was Pol's mistake running in hot at the first corner that put him into that position. He really infuriated because they were worried it was going to cost Zarco. And they're making big progress, not just in terms of horsepower, but in terms of using.
Dovizioso's top time And at the bottom of the speed trap, Rossi
and to do the business here in the Red Bull Ring for KTM.
A very, very good chance of springing a surprise here in Austria.
And he's got a pain threshold that's obviously issue.
Well, what were we... Throughout winter testing, Matt, we were banging the drum, weren't we? The start of the season's just been full of errors. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of Mir and Rins as the season continues.
And you can see how much progress. Rins said yesterday, yeah, we're still down on power compared to the big hitters. The likes of Ducati really capitalise. And, of course, the bike does turn exceptionally well too. So, Espargaro, for the umpteenth lap in a row, has just set the fastest first two sectors. It shows that they can get that power to the ground out of turns 1 and turn 3, and when they're
6th place for the World Championship leader. Tinu goes up ahead of Miguel.
Low 125s on his first appearance here at the Red Bull Ring, but he's down in
the other day, in any other year, I wouldn't have had a bad Friday, but
at all, because that's probably going to be his preferred #1 bike, and they've got very little time to... Espargaro brothers can say hello to each other, sadly, in that penultimate corner gravel. You know, one bike he's only going to have available in Q2 a little bit later on. There's a lace Espargaro.
Yeah, it's just what I was thinking. Such an important session for you, for information, for the...
Correct. Okay, the favorites, I think it will be medium front, a soft rear. The problem was the tarmac with a very low grip. Here the grip is good. Even yesterday, FP1 24.2, so it's very consistent.
Maybe he should have slowed down.
But then ultimately he's crashed. You don't want to do that on Sunday.
Yeah, and now Paul Espargaro's given him so far this weekend. Vinales, he's just gone 5th, a 124.72.
Valentino Rossi and Jack Miller were expecting. In fact, they're both out on circuit together from 11th all the way up into the top 3 here. There's Lynn Jarvis keeping a good eye.
Rossi knows that if he's got any aspirations of a top 5 fight in tomorrow's Grand Prix,
be moved by Cal this weekend with those injuries.
First time since Honda returned 10th place. Not good for HRC minus Marc Marquez.
Yeah, his rhythm was fantastic up until that point.
Going to be the only bike he has at his disposal in this upcoming Q2 session.
Be faster, so let's see how he's getting on this lap through there. Yeah, he's losing 3/10 again, so that really is...
Where you think that the agile, manoeuvrable M1 would work quite well. They've always been a little bit puzzled.
In the morning warm-up, he showed up, did exactly what they were doing, and he won.
Giosa then is going to be inside the top 3 for right point that it's the rider, not wind tunnels, that get results, so listen to them.
Ero in mezzo a tutta quella roba lì, però 2 Ducati sono volate, quindi diciamo bisogna stare attenti anche alle Ducati. Le ha vinte adesso, fanno molta fatica in accelerazione gli avversari, ma è strano come cosa, perché in accelerazione veramente sono piantati, ma piantati, quindi boh. Oddio Rins, mi butta fuori Rins. Non ha usato una traiettoria giusta, una traiettoria pulita, è andato a prendere più linee e a invadere 18 miliardi di traiettorie, rischiando anche di lanciarci per terra, perché comunque frenare Cordolo, Verde, poi di nuovo Cordolo non è la cosa più bella del mondo. Siamo in quinta posizione adesso, con l'unica differenza che Dovizioso non è forte come nella prima gara, e quindi